So I'm here with Cindy and Sam, who have been working with the HMO Daddy for a little while now. And what we're going to do is just find out a little bit more about Cindy and Sam, how they've been involved with HMO Daddy, to discover some of the benefits they've seen with working with us and working with Jim, and to give you guys an idea of what you will receive, what you'll get involved with if you're considering joining the mentorship. So Cindy, Sam, tell me, first of all, thank you for being here. Tell me, how long have you been working with HMO Daddy?
So started in March 2.5 years ago. Yeah. We met in a progressive super conference. Yeah.
Okay. And what was your situation before you started working with Jim?
So we spent £10,000 with another training provider, but we didn't really feel like we had ongoing support. And we hadn't bought any houses. Yeah, so basically that training organisation is very good in teaching you a lot of strategy. But as a beginner, you don't really know which strategy to use, or there's a lot of difficulties that can happen in a property. And as a beginner, we felt that is no support, which we needed greatly in the very beginning. And we have been looking for properties and talking to other investors, and we don't really feel like we have any support from anybody. And so we, to be honest, we're a bit desperate before we're seeing HMO Daddy and on the conference day.
Okay, and so the reasons really for getting involved were for that support structure, to be able to pick Jim's brain about different things. And do you think you've been given that over the last 2.5 years?
Yes, I think more than that, because well, I don't know. I think the people who've been trained by Jim will know that he's very hands-on investor.
Yeah.
He knows all the details about how to buy properties and all the difficulties we'll be facing and how to solve those difficulties. And he does that every day. I gotta say, he has so many properties, so many tenants. So he provides hands-on experience that you can ask him any question and you will get an answer. Yeah. So since we bought 5 HMOs, I think we really benefited from going on these courses, meeting staff and tenants, seeing the houses. I like the fact that Jim, unlike other people that we've taken in for us, is really good ongoing support. We've brought in the houses and say, what would you do with this? And some people will probably arm in arm and go, well, I think we decision. But I think Jim gave us some really clear guidance, which definitely benefited from. Yes, and I believe having teaching experience also helps a lot, because he's a qualified lecturer. So he knows how to teach, which I think is quite lacking in some sort of property education training companies. Some of them don't know how to teach properly.
I think that's a really interesting point. I think one of the bits of feedback we get quite often is that often training courses are big long sales pitches and not actually training courses. And you're right, absolutely, that Jim does know how to teach, and he delivers content as opposed to just a sales pitch for another course. And I think that's really interesting that you mentioned that. So Sam, you said you've purchased 5 HMOs since working with Jim. Tell me a little bit about those. What location are they in? What's the situation?
We had one in Peterborough, and we've now got 4 in Northampton. Unfortunately, one in Peterborough didn't come out quite so well, so we have actually gotten rid of that one. But the 4 in Northampton are doing really quite well. Yeah. They're all full at the moment. I think last month was in 1,200.
12.
Yeah, they're all 7 beds, larger to more required planning. Yes.
Okay, and are they student accommodation in Northampton?
Blue collar.
Blue collar. Okay, great. And what about is it affected by Article 4, that area? I know Article 4 in Northampton has some areas, but not all areas.
We're so far out. Well, we wanted to target the highest yield possible, so we couldn't really spend too much.
Okay.
So to start with, we concentrated on the outskirts where there is no Article 4.
I think in the future we would like to go more into the centre. I think the rents should be higher. Although it's not expensive.
Okay, excellent. So how have you, just briefly summarise how you spent your time with Jim when you've come up to the offices and when you've been on courses and things? How have you kind of spent your time?
So we've been through pretty much all these courses while we are on the mentorship program.
Did you have a favourite?
The 3 days we spying around the staff, I think was particularly educational.
Yes.
So we went into the office when they were entering tenants. We went out with the rent collectors while they were doing the inspection, the management team. And just spending time with him, I think, was really helpful.
Yes.
Trying to find out what he's up to and talk to you about what you're doing.
Okay.
It seems to take interest in what you do.
And he's a very pleasant person to work with. He's very good sense of humor, which we appreciate that, because I think property investment can be a bit stressful.
Yeah.
So I think we learn a lot of his attitude of dealing with property business from him, and that's quite positive. And the course I found the most helpful is the HMO course. To be to believe, you have to go to see his house, how he divided rooms and how he did the refurb. That's the most helpful course ever been. And just have to see it, and then you know how to do it after you finish.
Fantastic. That's really good feedback, and I think actually you're not alone in that. Our tour is probably one of our the most favourites amongst what we offer. Yeah, everybody says just how fascinating it is to see how he pushes the boundaries of space and things like that. So interesting to hear. So what's your targets for 2016? What are your plans?
So we bought the last 2 houses from in Northampton, and we've been back in contact with them, and we think they've got another 2 large houses that we not want to sell to us in an area where the rent might be even higher. So we're trying to raise money for that.
And in the meantime, we are looking for sort of more advanced strategy, meaning that we're looking for potential larger properties, such as commercial buildings, and looking to perhaps change them into residential use, for sort of much even bigger HMOs. That's what we're trying to look for. And so it's basically 2 strategies for a long-term project.
Okay.
Yeah, one of Jim's pub conversion or something.
The pub conversions are always interesting. Very, very interesting stuff. Great. So is there anything we can do to help you to achieve those things in 2016, do you think?
Certainly, I think we've appreciated Jim being on the end of the phone when we've needed help. So he's found him very helpful and accessible, which isn't always the case with other people that we've dealt with. So we're one of those people that actually lives up to his promises.
Yes. And particular example is recently we tried to evict tenants, and because he also had a course about how to evict the tenant.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and he has written a book on it as well.
Yes, that's very interesting because just before we go on the course, we actually talked and asked advice because we're going to face in the judges, and there are some details about the license and so we basically asked him his advice, and one of the tactics that he teaches is he produces a piece of paper saying.
So I think we were printing out from his book about the relevant case law, which I think helped me when I was in front of the judge just to feel a bit more confident about what I was saying.
It's very helpful.
It's good, isn't it? Good to be able to get advice from someone that's been there and done it.
Yeah.
And he's doing it all the time. In fact, with the number of tenants that he's got, he has these problems all the time.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So is there anything else you want to add? Any other comments you've got about your experience that you'd like to share?
So we do strongly recommend to people that we meet that things that be the best education provider we've come across, certainly in the field of HMO. But just on Monday I was at a networking meeting, and there was someone saying, that's not true about being into HMOs, so I strongly recommend if you get in touch with them, maybe go on like the 3 or 4 HMOs. I think a lot of people find that they'll get on well with Jen. And a lot of training providers, as you mentioned, are concentrating on the upsell, what's in it for them. with Jim. He seems to be very honest and very down to earth.
Yes.
So I think he can be a real help.
Yes. And also I think the price he charged for all his knowledge and support is really good value for money. So, which is very important for us, because one can easily spend lots of money on training, and he really wants to get somebody who really wants that money and time to spend. I think Jim is definitely one of them. I think I can only think of two that is good value for money, and Jim is one of them.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you both very much for your time. Really good to hear the feedback and the comments that you've added. We really appreciate you coming on the call.
Pleasure, yeah.
Lovely. I'll speak to you guys later.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.